Good morning, my students. This is me, Dr. Hani Alhasani, and today our class is related to the course Grammar 3, and the lecture will be about countable and non-countable nouns. So here we know, like in the previous lecture, we talked about nouns in general, and we mentioned some expressions related to nouns. And here what we have to understand, that countable and non-countable or uncountable nouns always a question in any test or exam for students, because a lot of mistakes can be committed in that area. And here in general, like if you want to ask you a question, like here we have first example, and this example you can understand that I bought a chair, Sam bought 3 chairs. Okay, well, so you bought a chair, we bought an article A, and Sam bought 3 chairs. We bought S for the chair, the word chair itself. And here we can understand that the word chair can be countable. Why? Because we can add S to it, and we can make it just a singular, and we can make it plural. So chair is called countable noun, as we can give a plurality for the word, and that's the main issue for that lesson, how we can decide which word is fit to make it countable and which word can't be anything but uncountable. And here is the point. In the second example, we bought some furniture. So we understand here that furniture doesn't mean one item, and furniture could be maybe the home furniture for all, like it's about sofa, about the pillows, about the furniture of your dining room, whatever, including for your furniture even in your bedroom, everything in the home that's called furniture. It means we are not sure about the quantity about the furniture, or what furniture, or how many items in furniture, and that's why we said we bought some furniture. So some furniture means maybe the cupboard, maybe I say the chairs, maybe the tables. All of these examples can be listed under furniture, and that's the note here. Furniture is called non-countable noun. You cannot use numbers. So in general, if I couldn't give it a plurality, so there is no way for giving a number here, because here incorrect, we bought some furnitures. We cannot do, or we cannot make it plural with s, as well as we cannot make it with the non-definite article. So we make it with theta. Theta means with nothing. Theta, like here and like here. So it has nothing to do with it, but we can add some, we can add a little or a lot. That's the way for dealing with furniture, and later on we will talk about that quantifier, or the words that link to any word that consider uncountable word. So the uncountable noun, again we have here another table down. We have non or countable noun and non-countable, and we say that a chair, 1 chair, 2 chairs, some chairs. All of these examples we discussed it in the previous lessons, but today we are trying to focus on non-countable noun, how we deal with them, and here how we can add some how to say, like a precedent, what can the word or the non-countable word precede by what. And here we have the words like some, a lot of, much. Others they can add like several or a great deal of. So that's the words, and later we will focus more about how to use these words and what are the meaning if we put these words like some, a lot, much in the sentence. And finally here we have furniture without any kind of determiner or article, so it means here nothing. Theta here means nothing. So countable noun may be preceded by an, any, or an, a, or one. It means for singular, and it can also ended by es or s or ies, depends on the word itself. A non-countable noun is it immediately preceded by a, an, or one. It means I couldn't put before the non-countable or uncountable word a or an or one just before it. I have, maybe I can say several times of or I can use a lot of expressions but not directly linked to the uncountable word. So that's the point, and there is no plural form. I have to be careful. If I say furniture, I cannot say furnitures. I have to be careful about adding any additional plurality ending of the suffixes that we use for the uncountable or non-countable words. There is no suffixes like ses or ies. And here we have one example. So this example, look at italicized nouns. So the first point from the question, we have to understand the question carefully. So in the following questions from 1 to 6, we have italicized. It means it looks like here. It's not in line. It means it's different from the normal statement. So we have to focus on that different shape or form because it italicized. So here's the point. You write C for countable nouns and you write NC for non-countable nouns. And the first sentence, I bought some chairs, tables, and desks. We needed some new furniture. So we decided here that chairs, tables, desks, they are already countable words, and here needed some new furniture. It's non-countable. We cannot count, but it's already preceded by some. So Michiko likes to wear jewelry. So here jewelry, number 2, it's non-countable. I can't count the jewelry in some maybe women or whatever, like girls wearing that jewelry. I couldn't count them. Today she's wearing 4 rings, bracelets, and necklace. So rings already countable, bracelets countable, and necklace already countable because the necklace is only one necklace in her neck, and 6 bracelets in her arm, or the what we call the rings, also 4 rings, it means in her fingers. And that's a very clear example. If you want to move to number 4, we have here the neighbors have a rusty car without an engine, a broken furniture. So car here is countable, and we can see like here an engine, it means one engine, and this is countable. Broken furniture, uncountable. Old refrigerator, so refrigerator here, it's like it's countable because we have here an old refrigerator in the front yard. Their yard is full of junk. So here junk is non-countable. Junk is non-countable. So be careful about these words. And we have here one last word. I use an iron to press my wrinkled shirt. So this is or this word already countable word. So this is the iron here. The iron, it's different from other sentences because it's one iron. So that's the point. You can answer exercise 24 by your own. Like here, every week our instructor give us maybe some new idioms and some slang or slang without any thing, but you can here you can use like some new idioms because we cannot count the idioms, and the slang you can also just leave it without any thing here. So that's you have to continue it by your own when you have that time. So we have here also recycling in Sweden. This example or this exercise is related to one thing, like change the endings. So exercise 26, it has change the ending of or endings to plural with es or ies where necessary. So I think this example you have to be careful where is it or where we can change it to es or ies. So it's not necessary to change all. You have to be careful about using them carefully and write theta for nothing or no ending. I can't change it. Like here, if I want to talk about, imagine a country that recycles 99% of its household garbage. So household garbage, the only non-countable noun is garbage. So here, garbage, I couldn't make it with s or es, so I leave it with theta, with nothing. For Sweden, that's already a reality, so I couldn't add anything because a means for one only. So you can continue it by your own, and you can also find how to answer it later on when we discuss anything or any issue on Zoom. We can share the answers with you. So let's move to the next part, which is too hard, I think, also for some students. Non-countable nouns, that's section 6.6, and here we have to understand that the point here, how we deal with non-countable nouns by adding an additional expressions like some or maybe sharing the or no, realizing the words. Here, furniture. Money, we can tell those who want to learn about it. Many non-countable nouns refer to a whole that is made up of different parts. It means furniture, it refers to a whole, maybe home, that includes so many items, and that's the same point that I emphasized on it in the previous lesson. B, I bought some sugar in my coffee. So sugar and coffee represent maybe the whole jar or the whole maybe if we have a packet or plastic bag including sugar and plastic bag for or a can of coffee. So that's the meaning of the whole. I wish you luck. So many non-countable nouns are abstractions. So abstractions here, it means the word can't be with plural. So I wish you luck, I can't say I wish you lucks. So I can't add any additional suffixes or ending to luck because it's called abstract word, and abstract word is usually uncountable, and that's how we can memorize them. Sunshine is warm and cheerful. Here, when we talk about sunshine, because we cannot count the sunshine, and that's a phenomenal nature. So when we talk of sunshine, we cannot say sun shines. So it should be non-countable and singular. So non-countable here for hair. So Anne has brown hair. I cannot say Anne has brown hairs, or cannot say that Tom has a hair on his jacket. So that's different between brown hair, it means for all hair, and has a hair, it means when we make hair here in that example, we understand that maybe there's a slice of hair on his clothes, and that's why we can give it like accountability like a hair. But in general, the word hair doesn't last for one slice. It means all or whole picture of hair for anybody that he or she has hair on her head. F here we have non-countable and countable. I open the curtains to let in some light. Don't forget to turn off the light before you go to bed. So here in that example we can check out the point. If I say don't forget to turn off the light, so it means here the light in the room. The light in the room, it means I just mean one maybe a lamp in the room, and that's why I put that. But in general, the light of sun, it's non-countable. So I open the curtains to let in some light. So here the meaning of light of the sun or light of the day, and that's why I cannot count the light of the sun, or the light that you can recognize during the daytime cannot be countable. You understand? So I cannot put here to let the light in, or to let in the light. Why? Because the meaning in this sentence, it means the light of the sun, but the meaning in the second sentence, it means the light of the lamp in the room. So it has a very specific function, and it belongs to electricity meaning. So here some expressions that preceded for a lot of words. You can say like a cup of coffee, you can say cart of milk, a loaf of bread, a grain of rice, bowl of soup, bag of flour, pound of meat, piece of furniture, piece of paper, piece of jewelry. So that's how we can add some expressions to non-countable to make it looks like a countable, and that's the point for that lesson. Later we will have some discussions and exercises to answer. Okay, fine. So number or section 7, we have some common non-countable nouns. So the common here thing is the words that we use to use it in daily life speaking, or maybe in daily writing time or chatting. So we have here baggage, clothing, equipment, food, fruit, furniture, garbage, hardware, jewelry, junk, luggage, machinery, mail, makeup, merchandise, and money, cash, change, postage, scenery, stuff, traffic, etc. All of these words already non-countable nouns. So it can also the way for non-countable nouns, it can also extend it to a lot of items, like how in B, C, D we are trying to separate the materials. So anything under fluid, water, coffee, tea, milk, oil, soap, gasoline, a blood, etc. Like you have water, coffee, tea, milk, oil, soup, gasoline, anything that you cannot count in your eyes, it means and it belongs to something liquid. So this is called fluids. So fluids, it's liquid, and the liquid that we couldn't really find a way to count it. So gasoline, kerosene, or whatever under the liquid style, or I mean the liquid material, should be non-countable. So we have here solids, something rigid like ice, bread, butter, cheese, meat, gold, iron, silver, glass, paper, wood, cotton, and wool. So those, it looks like a solid and one item. If you look at them, if you look at the bread, you cannot count one bread. What is the I mean the material inside the bread or the material inside the ice, but you can see cubic ice, like a cubic or a cube of ice in front of you. You can see a loaf of bread, you can see a slice of cheese. So that's how we deal with them, or with these words. We have gases, so if you have oxygen, nitrogen, smoke, and smog, pollution, these words we cannot also count, because no one can count the air, no one can count the steam, no one can count the oxygen, and that's why for all and to last it will be non-countable. E, we have here particles. So particles, it means something tiny or very penny. It looks like very small, and the tiny things like rice, chalk, corn, dirt, dust, flour, grass, hair, pepper, salt, sand, sugar, wheat, and the others of spices, the spices that you put in the food. We cannot count these particles, and for sure you will have a lot of examples more than these words. But what you have to do when you recognize any words that belong to fluids, it means water, like juice or whatever, anything belong to liquid, so we cannot count it. We cannot count it. It will be non-countable. Anything to particles like salt, like sugar, and this for sure we cannot count it. So keep it in your mind for these examples, and you can make kind of matching with other materials. Sometimes you maybe because now we are in 2020 and a lot of materials or particles already raised up, maybe in 2040 also other examples. So whatever examples should be belong to these major materials. Abstractions, we have beauty, confidence, courage, education, enjoyment. So this is abstract or concept words. It shouldn't be with plurality. And here you have advice, you have homework, you have work, evidence, proof, wealth, patience, peace, pride, progress. All of these words should be non-countable. We have slang, we have vocabulary, and here languages: Arabic, Chinese, English, Spanish. Here we cannot make it countable. I cannot say Chinese's or Arabic's for countable. So I have to understand this abstract, I mean this language also, words cannot make it countable. Why? Because if I talk about one language and it's only one language that belong to a huge community, so it's not two or three languages for the same function, it's only one language. So if I say Spanish, so I cannot have many types of Spanish. English, I don't have many types of English, but we have accents for sure, but the language itself is still one language, and that's why it's non-countable here. And we have fields of study like chemistry, engineering, history, literature, mathematics, psychology. This will not be anything but non-countable. Why? Because it's only one science and couldn't be derived somehow, so it's already original knowledge. We have here recreation. We have baseball, soccer, tennis, chess, bridge, poker. So with these examples we have to understand that for some maybe games that already created in 20th century or the 21st century, we have to understand that these words will come with like if I took a bridge, one bridge, and we can count it bridges, but not for baseball. We cannot say baseballs, or I can say suckers for maybe the teams. I mean the team, not the word soccer itself. And tennis, I cannot say tennises because it's a game. Chess also, it's a game. I cannot make it countable because it's only one game. Activities, last here for that package, we have driving, studying, swimming, traveling, walking. All of these words under gerunds. I cannot say drivings. Why? Because driving is one activity that many people around the world they already practice. Studying also same. It doesn't mean anything if you give it accountability, so it will be non-countable because it's still under abstractions or still under the activities as well. Natural phenomena. So we again need to emphasize on natural phenomena like lighting or the weather, the fog, the hail, the rain, sleet, snow, thunder, wind, darkness, light, sunshine, electricity, fire, gravity. So all of these natural phenomena, we cannot add anything to them to make it countable because we have only one gravity condition. We have fire, so firefighter, electricity, one electricity, sunshine, one sunshine, light of the sunshine, snow, and rain, humidity. All of these words. What do you mean by humidity؟ يعني اللي هي الرطوبة العالية. So okay. Now we have exercise, and this exercise, it's good exercise for you. Why? Because use each noun only one time. Add final ses or ies. So we have here first one is already answered. The Mississippi, the Amazon, and the Nile are well-known rivers. Well-known rivers, not river, rivers. We add s because they are three. I like to listen to operas. So operas what? We follow the word, we find that symphony. So it's not opera symphony, one symphony. Why? Because here we find it songs. So it means he repeatedly went or she went there, and we have to say operas, symphonies. We change y to make it ies. Folk songs, I enjoy music. I enjoy music and listen to it. Music cannot be counted. Why? Because it's for an activity. Number 4, look at all the cars and whatever, trucks. We find trucks and buses. The city is full of traffic. So we make it countable for the trucks, and traffic cannot be countable. I can answer one more question. Why? Because that's good for your practice. Number 10, we have my English is slowly getting better. My vocabulary is increasing. I often understand people even when they talk fast. I'm satisfied with progress. So I'm satisfied with progress, not progresses. So progress because the progress it moved one by one and it will be in one line. So progress I have made. 9, the answer is advice. I got advice. You should drink juice and rest. I got advice. So try to answer the other questions. That's good for you. And let's move to the next part. This also exercise 30 is very important. How to decide the correct completions. Like I took a lot of time to finish my homework, not my homeworks. So my homework, and here I had a lot of assignments. So assignments can be counted. You have to continue it by yourself, and anything you can ask me back. We have the last in this lesson, we have to talk about expressions of quantity used with count and non-count nouns or non-countable nouns. The point here that we have to understand the expressions. We have these expressions that use for countable and non-countable. And the expressions first for countable, we say one, each, every. Used with non-countable, no, nothing. So here, one apple, each apple, every apple, an expression of quantity precedes a noun. So you can see directly how one precedes a noun, how each precedes a noun, how every precedes a noun. There is no problem with it. And with countability, we have like a few apples, several apples, many apples, a number of apples, and all of these examples here because sometimes we couldn't count, like here a few apples. I couldn't count it. Several apples also I couldn't count it. Many apples I couldn't count it well, but I add many to give an expression that really a lot. So till now we have no problem, I think, in getting the idea. But in C here we can see like a little, much, a great deal of these expressions can't be with countable. So as we said that one and two and few, many, a number of, these all of them cannot be with non-countable. But here on the opposite, or on the other hand, a little, much, a great deal of cannot be with countable words. So it's used for non-countable, like a little rice, much rice, a great deal of rice. Okay, let's continue here. We have, we said last, a great deal of rice, and we mentioned that it's only for non-countable. D, it has some options. Why? Because it can be used for both. So we have expressions that can be used for countable and uncountable, like no, no apples, no rice, hardly any apples, hardly any rice, some and any. We have some and any apples and some and any rice, a lot of, a lot, or lots of. And the other way for the non-countable, we should use plenty of, plenty of, and most apples, all rice, and all apples. So the point that we have to get from all these examples that how we can use some expressions or extra expressions to avoid repetition or to make writing quite better by not repeating the same words, like here using plenty of apples, plenty of rice. That's a good example for the countable and non-countable, but lots and a lot of, we cannot use a lot of and lots of with non-countable. So if I bring to you a question, ask you a lot of and lots of can be used with non-countable, you have to answer me no or incorrect. We have here, do you have much time? I don't have much time. I have a lot of time. I have too much time. So the use of time with these expressions, it reflected something to us. If we have kind of a lot of time or I have much time, the answer is for affirmative statement. So affirmative يعني التأكيد، يمكن أن نؤكد على شيء. الآن okay, let's move to the exercise. We have here a good exercise down, exercise 35. If we look at 35, if the given noun can be used to complete the sentence right in its correct form, singular or plural, if given noun can be used to complete the sentence right, theta. So here we have Helen bought several, we can say lamps, we cannot say furnitures but just furniture. So theta, jewelry, theta, necklace, can be necklaces, so we can give it plurality. Sam bought a lot of stamps, so we can add here s. we can also talk about a lot of what we call rice. So again, I have to correct my info about using a lot of rice here. Same equal like lots of apples. So again, I'm correcting myself for the info that we find it down. So here we have Sam bought a lot of stuff. We make it here theta. We cannot add anything to stuff because it's for abstract word. Thing can be things. So let's move to other example. Like if we want to look at example number 3, I need a little of, we can say the first one, a little money. There is nothing to add, and I can say I need a little advice, I need a little time, and I need a little or some minutes. Like here, it's not clear for it. Let's move to number 5. I read few novels. Literature cannot be counted. Poems and poetry cannot be counted. I needed some orange juice. So orange juice here, light bulbs can be counted, light bulbs. Hardware, computer and hardware cannot be counted, so it will be the same. Hardware, computer software, ear bulbs and orange juice. I wish to continue more and more example to you, but you can answer the following question, like here, exercise 36, how to use these words in speaking. So you can just put the word with expressions, a great deal of a number of, it's up to you. In the next class of Zoom, we will try to describe all of these issues to you, and if you have any question, please share me your thought. I'm here for sharing and helping you thoroughly. Thank you again and see you next week.